والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله الصلاة والسلام عليك يا حبيب الله الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله. Glory be to Allah Azza wa Jalla. All praise is due to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Special peace and blessing be upon Allah's beloved Habib, the Prophet of mankind, the peace of our hearts and our mind, the most generous and kind, the Prophet of Rahmah, the intercessor of the Ummah, the owner of Jannah and the distributor of Allah's Ni'mah, our holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, one beautiful fadilat of Durood Sharif. Before we start, the Prophet of mankind, the peace of heart and mind, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam stated, the one who recites 1,000 times salat upon me, the person who recites 1,000 times salat upon me, this is the summary of a hadith I'm giving, the mafhum. He will not die, his soul will not leave his body until Allah shows him his place in Jannah. Sallu ala al-Habib, salatu wassalamu alayka ya Sayyidi ya Rasulullah, wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurullah. Alhamdulillah, as you can see, my dear beloved Islamic brothers, the status, the maqam, the benefit of Durood Sharif. There is no better wazifa than Durood Sharif.
Subhanallah.
Durood Sharif is the taweez of all taweez. It's the wazifa of all wazifas. Because Allah Himself is sending salawat upon Rasulullah.
Subhanallah.
Alhamdulillah, the beautiful hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Nabi sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam stated, Ni'yatul mu'mini, Ni'yatul mu'mini, Ni'yatul mu'mini, Niyat of a mu'min, Khayrun min amalihi, better than his action.
Subhanallah.
Let's make good intentions while we sit in this beautiful masjid Faizaan-e-Raza in Overport, Alhamdulillah, for the Sunnah inspired Ijitma. Let's make good intentions why we came. The more intentions you make, the more sawab you will get. And one niyat, I'll give you only one niyat. The bayan is not a niyat, but one niyat. Ulama have mentioned that a person who makes the intention of learning knowledge, seeking knowledge. How important that? I'm only giving you one intention. If a person makes this niyat of seeking knowledge, for as long as he spends his time in that gathering of seeking knowledge, Allah Azza wa Jalla will reward him for every moment like he made ibadat the whole night.
Subhanallah.
Whole night, I won't give you the sawab. Allah will give you the sawab like you made ibadat the whole night for one moment. So now how many moments you spent already? How many moments? So make intention. The more niyat you make, the more sawab you get. Alhamdulillah. One day, Sayyidina Ibrahim, Khalilullah alayhi salam, he was at the seashore and he was witnessing a scene. The scene was very unique. There was a dead body lying on the seashore, on the beach. And the water came, it hit the body, it went away. It continued and continued for some time. And Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam is watching the scene. And this body after some time started to decay because of the sea creatures. As the water came, the tide came in, the sea creatures came. And they took what they could take. The sea creatures came with the water, took from the body was there, they ate it, and it went away. And when the water went away, then the land predators came, the predators of the land. Eventually, after some time, this body was finished, the meat was gone, there was only bones. And some bones got decayed also. So Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam was watching the scene, and then he thought to himself, he wondered how Allah will resurrect the dead on the day of judgment.
Allahu Akbar.
He was thinking, how will Allah resurrect the entire creation on the day of judgment? He was wondering because some parts of the body went to the fish, some parts of the body went to the lion, some parts of the body went to the shark, some parts of the body went to the crabs, some parts of the body went to the birds, some parts of the body went to the vultures. So various sea creatures and predators had different parts of the body, because it is stated on the day of judgment, everyone will be, their body will come back to itself. Everybody will come alive again, and the normal body will come back to them. So he's thinking now, all the pieces went everywhere, plus some went in the sea. So then he asked in the court of Allah Azza wa Jalla. This beautiful narration is from in the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, because of trying to summarize it. So Sayyidina Ibrahim Khalilullah alayhi salam asked in the revered court of Allah Azza wa Jalla, "Oh my Lord, Ya Rabbal Alameen, oh Allah Azza wa Jalla, show me how you will resurrect the dead." Who is asking? Ibrahim. Sayyidina Ibrahim Khalilullah alayhi salam is asking Allah Azza wa Jalla. He was the Khalil of Allah, he was a friend of Allah. He is asking Allah Azza wa Jalla, show me how you will resurrect the dead. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla said to Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, don't you have faith in it?
Allahu Akbar.
Look at the answer the Nabi of Allah gives. He says, why not? Although I have faith, you remember Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam was tested quite a lot. With his health, with his wealth, with his family, even Sayyidina Ismail Islam, Qurbani, we were sacrificing Qurbani for pleasure of Allah. Sacrifice of Sayyidina Ibrahim, Ismail alayhi salam. So Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam went through lots of difficulties, lot of tests. And the entire creation, Rasulullah went to the greatest test. Nobody went through the most difficulties and tests like Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Sayyidina Ibrahim said to Allah, although I have faith in it, but I wish to observe this spectacle with my own eyes to solace my heart. Then Allah said to Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam, listen carefully, this ayat is in Holy Quran, but if you go deep into tafsir, then you'll understand. Raise 4 birds. How many birds? Allah Azza wa Jalla told to Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam, from the summary of the ayat of the Holy Quran, raise 4 birds. Now this bird Allah chose. Whatever Allah chooses, there's hikmah in it that ordinary people won't understand. Even super ordinary people won't understand. Because nobody understands Allah Azza wa Jalla. Nobody understands. So Allah told Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam to raise these birds, feed them, nourish them, look after them, so they became your pets. As they grow up at a certain age, you must sacrifice them. Take the meat of all 4 birds, mix it together, place it on 4 mountain tops. Place 4 pieces of meat from all, you must mix all the birds together. Mix them up and take 4 pieces, make 4 parts. 1 part on one mountain, 1 part on another mountain, 1 part on the next mountain, 1 part on a 4th mountain. Therefore Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam tended, he grew 4 birds. And what was the bird that Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Holy Quran to Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam? The bird was a pigeon. The next bird was a peacock. The next bird was a rooster. And the next bird was a vulture. These are 4 birds that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he must raise them up. Like how you look after your pets, raise them up, feed them, nourish them, be close to them. Then you must sacrifice them. Imagine now you are close to them. Then you have to sacrifice them. Allah. Then Sayyidina Ibrahim Islam, he did what he was commanded by his Lord to do. And then he sacrificed the 4 birds. He mixed the meat together and he placed it on 4 mountain tops. Then he came back away from the mountain and then he called to the birds with the permission of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Ibrahim Islam to call the birds. So he went back and then he called towards the birds. He said to the first bird, Ya ayyuhad-diku, O rooster. Ya ayyatu hal hamatu, O pigeon. Ya ayyuhan nasru, O vulture. Ya ayyuhat ta'usu, O peacock. He called the 4 birds by their names. Then he witnessed a spectacle. The meat of the birds started to soar in the sky. The meat of the 4 birds on the 4 mountain tops started to rise. Then the bones came together. Then the feathers came together. The meat came together. The entire bird was formed, the pigeon, the vulture, the peacock, and the rooster. And all of them had no heads, because Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam kept the heads with him. The 4 birds came running to the master, because they were attached to him. And then he put the heads of each bird respectively, and they started to crackle and pick grain from the floor. They were alive. Allah. My dear Islamic brothers, this incident is described in the Holy Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, part 3, verse 260. Surah Al-Baqarah, part 3, verse 260. Translation from the masterpiece, Kanzul Iman. And when Ibrahim said, "My Lord, show me how you will give life to the dead," he said, "Are you not certain of it?" Ibrahim said, "Surely yes, why not? But because I wish my heart to be satisfied," he said, "then take 4 birds as pets and cause them to become familiar with you. Then place each part of them on separate mountains. Then call them. They will come running towards you, and know well that Allah is Almighty and wise."
Subhanallah.
The ayat of Holy Quran, Kanzul Iman. Allahu Akbar. So my dear Islamic brothers, these 4 birds, what was unique about them? The story is very long, but we'll summarize it because of time. These 4 birds had 4 qualities. Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam watched this magnificent spectacular that Allah SWT did. The entire 4 birds' meat was separated from each another, and life became back onto the birds, and Ibrahim al-Islam put their heads on the birds and they came alive. They started to crackle, and he witnessed this. Because he asked Allah, the Khalil asked Allah to show me the miracle, how you will resurrect the dead on the day of judgment. So therefore, the first bird, the vulture, the peacock has a bad quality. It's got pride. It loves its beauty. See, peacock has the quality of pride in it, a ill quality, bad quality, of its facial beauty, of its appearance, outer beauty. The rooster possesses a bad quality of excessive lust. The rooster's bad quality is excessive lust. The vulture's bad quality is greedy in nature. And the pigeon's quality is proud. It has the ability to fly high in the sky. So these 4 birds had 4 qualities in it: pride, greed, lust, and being showing off. Last week, mashallah, our Hazrat Mufti Abdul Nabi Ali Sahab gave a beautiful bayan on showing off. For those who came, mashallah, what a beautiful bayan. These 4 qualities are in these 4 birds. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam wanted to see how Allah brings life to the dead, so his heart can be satisfied. And he witnessed it. Then he reached the state of nafs-e mutma'inna, the highest level of contentment of hearts. Nafs-e mutma'inna, Sayyidina Ibrahim Islam had that contentment of heart in Allah. He was content with whatever Allah bestowed upon him. So like that, if you, my dear beloved Islamic brothers, if we can sacrifice those 4 qualities in us, the 4 bird qualities in us, if we can sacrifice our nafs, the lust for the lust and craze for sexual desires, the lust and craze for greed, the lust and craze of being proud and having pride, and the quality of showing off, then automatically we will have contentment of hearts. There were great personalities that roamed this earth. They sacrificed their nafs and they became Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani radiallahu anhu. There were great personalities that sacrificed their nafs and their desires, and they became Hazrat Khwaja Garib al-Nawaz rahmatullahi. There are great personalities who roamed this earth. They killed their nafs and desires. They became Ala Hazrat Azimul Barkat Mujaddidin Awliya Shah Imam Muhammad Zakat. There are great personalities who came to South Africa. They killed their nafs. They killed their pride. They killed their rust. They became Hazrat Sufi Sahib rahmatullahi.
Subhanallah.
These awliya, they killed their nafs and their desires like you and me. If we kill these 4 qualities in ourselves, then automatically our maqam and status will rise, and we will be content with whatever Allah gave us.
Inshallah.
The maqam of Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam is so great that one cannot imagine how high and great his status is. It is stated after the beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam is the greatest. After Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the greatest after that? Hazrat Ibrahim al-Islam. He was the grandfather of the Arabs.
Subhanallah.
Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam is the father of all prophets who came after him. Every divinely revealed religion has declared it compulsory, obligatory to follow and obey Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam. You look at whatever religions out there, all of them love Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam. The followers of every religion honor Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam. Sacrifice performed in his honor is a great sacrifice of Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam. The Hajj rites that you and I perform and will perform, and if you didn't perform, Allah bless you to perform it. Hajj rites is connected to who? Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam.
Subhanallah.
And his family, Sayyidina Ismail al-Islam. Sayyidina Hajra radiallahu anha. He al-Islam is the first to have built the Kaaba and made it like a house. Allah. On the day of judgment, alhamdulillah, he al-Islam will be first and bestowed with a heavenly garment. And immediately after him, our beloved and blessed Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be blessed with his favor. So like that, my dear beloved Islamic brothers, Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam maqam is so great that Allah loved him so much that Allah Azza wa Jalla ordered you and me to go to Makkah al-Mukarramah and perform Hajj.
Subhanallah.
That nisbat, yeah, okay, Nabi Sallallahu also got nisbat to Makkah Sharif, Medina Sharif. What we're talking about Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam, the Hajj rites is for who? For Allah Azza wa Jalla. But Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam, he built the Kaaba. Sayyidina Ismail al-Islam, Zamzam is connected to who? Hazrat Ismail al-Islam. Safa and Marwa is connected to who? Hazrat Bibi Hajra radiallahu anha. Maqam Ibrahim is what? What is Maqam Ibrahim? The stone which Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam, he stood with his foot, his own feet, he stood upon that stone, and that stone rose up and down. Like now we got cranes, mobile cranes, hydraulic cranes, electronic cranes, electrical cranes. That time there was no cranes. Allah Azza wa Jalla ordered the rock to go up and down. Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam built the Holy Kaaba. So for those who went to the Holy Kaaba, they saw a special cage and there's a piece of rock inside with a footprint of Sayyidina Ibrahim al-Islam, and you are ordered to recite 2 rakat nafil namaz behind Maqam Ibrahim. If you do not recite 2 rakats behind Maqam Ibrahim, then your umrah is not counted.
Allahumma.
Your tawaf is nothing. It's not counted. Because you have to recite 2 rakat. You must recite 2 rakat nafil namaz behind where? Not the Kaaba. After you make tawaf, you must recite 2 rakat nafil namaz behind Maqam Ibrahim, a piece of stone in front of you. Imagine you reciting namaz behind a stone, but the Kaaba in front. Why? Because Allah ordered it. I never ordered it. Allah made it such a way to complete your umrah or your hajj, your tawaf. 2 rakat nafil namaz behind Maqam Ibrahim. So the stone became so great because it had connected the nisbat to Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ismail alayhi salam became great because he was the son of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Sayyidina Hajra radiallahu anha became great because she was the wife of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. The Kaaba became so great because who built it? Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. So if Allah told you to recite 2 rakat nafil namaz behind Maqam Ibrahim, so you have to do it. So the stone became great because it had this one and connected to who? Hazrat Ibrahim al-Islam. So the chosen bondsmen of Allah, the servants of Allah, the slaves of Allah, anything connected to them becomes great.
Subhanallah.
Anything, there's a beautiful saying, anything connected to greatness. Anything connected to greatness becomes great. Like a drop of water, if you make wudu, how much of drop? A lot of water fall down. That one drop can't do anything. But take that drop and put it in the ocean. That water does not become the ocean. It becomes part of the ocean. So one drop into the ocean can become a tsunami. So like that, anything connected to greatness, like the stone where you are ordered to recite 2 rakat nafil namaz, there's a lot of, it's a tabarukat. In the Holy Quran, the Quran talks about tabarukat, the Ark of the Covenant, Tabut-e-Sakina. So this is also a sign of Allah and the Maqam Ibrahim. If the stone is so great because it got connection to Maqam Ibrahim, to Hazrat Ibrahim al-Islam, then what is the connection of the awliya, the mazars? What is the connection of the mazar of the awliya? Because Ibrahim al-Islam is not there. But you have to read namaz behind the stone. The awliya Allah are there. So if you go there, we don't read namaz behind the mazar. Nor do we recite salah in front of the mazar. So if Allah is ordering you to worship Him behind the stone, so when you go to the qabr, nobody worships the grave. So how can people with lack of knowledge, these are ignorant people, lack of knowledge, how can you say a person is a grave worshipper, going to the mazar, that you must call him also the same thing because you go to Hajj and you worship behind the stone? In Islam, you cannot call a person a thief. If you do not steal, then you get the guna of stealing. If you call a person a murderer, if you do not kill, then you get the guna of murdering. If you call a person an adulterer, and if you do not commit adultery, then you get the guna of adultery. So like that day, if you call a person, do not judge a person, do never judge it. There's one quality we must make tawbah and don't do it. Don't judge another person. If you say a person is a grave worshipper, what is worship? Testify there is no God but Allah. And Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the message of Allah. So when you come to the masjid, you worship Allah. When you go to the Kaaba, you worship Allah. When you recite 2 rakat nafil namaz behind the stone, you're not worshipping the stone. You worship Allah. So like that, you're not reciting salah in Ramadan. You are not reciting salah, you're making dua. So the stone became great because it touched the Mubarak feet of Hazrat Ibrahim al-Islam. Like the Mubarak Bal Sharif became so great because it is from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Sahaba Ridwan was sick, they should go to the beloved family of Rasulullah, Hazrat Salma radiallahu anha. She should take the Mubarak Bal Sharif, she should put in the water and she should give Sahaba Ridwan to drink and they should get better. Subhanallah. The hair was connected to who? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Remember, nothing works without the permission of Allah. We worship only Allah, nothing else. But in the Holy Quran talks about tabarukat, nisbat, connection. The problem in society nowadays, we have lost the connection. That's why if you put the switch off and on, and there's no electricity coming in, you never pay a ESCOM bill, the light will never come on. Like this, you have put the mic off and on, if there's no power coming in, the mic will not work. Because the ruhaniyat in our lives are missing. Ruhaniyat you can't see. Spirituality you can't see. But human being you can see. Blood you can see. So like that in our life, our ruh we can't see. But the ruhaniyat, the food for the soul, is missing. We feed ourselves with beautiful foods. But how many of us feed our soul? The soul, ala bi zikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Zikr is the food of the heart. And contentment of the heart. It's also the food of the soul. Like you eat, you must feed your soul. The soul like zikr, the soul like Quran, the soul like naat, the soul like salat, the soul like roza. So like that day, the ruhaniyat in society is missing. That's why we got all these medical problems and spiritual problems. We lost connection. We need to connect ourselves like how our battery needs to be charged. We need to charge our ruh also. Then if your soul is charged, then you'll see how you fly. Only Allah charged their soul so much. That's why when they said, Kum bi-iznillah, wake up with the permission of Allah, that they came alive. How many narrations in Islamic history we know? Plenty only Allah did it. So like the day, my beloved Islamic brothers, from this narration, there are many Madani pearls. The personality of Ibrahim al-Islam is unique. It is beyond our comprehension. We should learn about his lifestyle. We should learn about his family. We should learn about his message. We should learn about his maqsad. And also we should learn about the greatest creation of Allah. If you say we Ashik Rasul, then we must study and learn lifestyle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We must read the Quran, read the translation of Kanzul Iman. And mashallah, you can contact Aslam by our Mufti Sahab has completed two volumes of the Holy Quran, the tafsir, where you can understand the explanation. You can contact our Aslam Bhai and try and get the 2 volumes. There are 5 volumes coming out, alhamdulillah. 2 volumes where you read Surah Fatiha, like how I'm reading Surah Al-Baqarah, I read the ayat, but you won't understand about the 4 birds. If you go deep into tafsir, you'll understand. So we need to study and learn about Islam, learn about the Awliya Anbiya Ikram, learn about Sahaba Ikram, learn about Awliya Ikram, learn about their lives. All these beautiful stories should feed our soul, and then we will have contentment of hearts. May Allah give the tawfiq and hidayah to act upon whatever we have heard and learned, and forgive myself, forgive us all, whatever sins we have committed. Ameen. Bijay Khatab al-Nabiyyin sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Sallu al-Habib, salatu wa salam alayka ya Rasulullah, wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurullah. Inshallah.